I don't read anything online anymore. I only read it in a physical newspaper.
You really do.
Yeah.
Good for you. I mean, it's the inadvertent. I would never read frankly, the sports pages, except in the newspaper, because there'd be some visual that would catch my eye and some personal story, and then I'd read it and I realize you just read an entire article about football, that would never happen if I were searching through to my preferences, or even worse, the algorithm was giving me what
the
I
information
like.
that you want to read.
Really annoying.
Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks. Wow.
I think our interview just began. Am I wrong?
Wow to be in the same room as you guys, and wow to this film. I can't believe that it has taken you this long to actually work together on screen and to bring Steven Spielberg into the mix. Why was this the right story for the three of you to tell?
Well, I think Stephen felt a particular impetus to tell this story in this year, because this is a particular moment, at least at home, and I think around the world, where journalism and truth-telling and standing up for the truth is under siege, and especially in our First Amendment protections in terms of freedom of the press, which is written into our Constitution as an important pillar of our standing state. Without it, we lose. And so that's part of why he wanted to tell this story. And also, I do think that he had some particular interest in telling the story of women, really, and where we were in 1971 as opposed to now. And because she was a sort of a pivotal figure, Katharine Graham.
She really was, and she had a tough time being taken seriously. And she had a tough time in believing in herself as well. So how hard did you guys have to fight at the very start of your careers to be taken seriously? And when did you feel, when was that moment where you went, you know what, I deserve to be here?
I hope it starts tomorrow. I would really appreciate if you could put out how serious we are. In all honesty, I felt as though that was in my control. And when you're a young actor, you only can control it by, quite frankly, the things you say no to.
There you go. Boy, is that true.
It's wonderful to say yes, because you might get paid, you get to do something, you get to go somewhere, who knows what can happen. But if you're, I specifically ended up saying, boy, I could afford my car payments if I took this job, but what it would mean to, the sort
Your
of
stomach lining,
the desire to do good work and expand. I never dared think of myself really as an artist until I realized that I was part of a great collaboration that required me to be at my best and dig down deep and find things that were not on the printed page. And you can only establish a work record by saying no to the things that smell bad.
I love that. Let's say no more often. And what I love is that Kay also, she stood up at a time when it was really hard to stand up for things. And it's really strange though, as an actor, you go in there to do your job, but people actually expect you to be the voice pieces. But when you say it wrong, when they think what you're saying is wrong, there is backlash. So how do you guys handle that?
Well, I'm not on social media, so I'm blithely unaware of most of the, haters and stuff like that. But I think for Katharine Graham at this time, in 1971, it was a very different world. I was graduating from college, so I remember that year very well. And I remember that there are pictures we had in our research, pictures of the Associated Press, a meeting of the Associated Press, and there were 29 men in the room, and Katharine Graham. There were no women at the top level. There were no women reporters. When our friend Nora Ephron, to whom our film is dedicated, when she went to Newsweek, at that time, Newsweek was owned by Katharine Graham, and she applied for a job as a reporter. The interviewer laughed and said, you could be a researcher, you could be a secretary, you could be a copy girl, but reporters are men. Reporters are male. And that's the world not that long ago. So I think it was difficult for her to take a position where she stood against the wishes of all her advisors, all her male advisors, all her mentors, and jumped in.
Now, you guys have already started winning awards for your performances in this film. And when it comes to awards, you guys are record breakers. So how important are awards to you
It's
guys?
long in the tooth, that's all.
That's right. We've been around a long
Yeah,
time.
I got an award from the Chevy dealerships of San Antonio. I'm really proud of.
I
Do they-
didn't get that.
I know. Sorry, kid, you didn't deserve it that year.
Do they mean much to you? And I always wonder, we all have the one speech that we're going to give when we get an award. But when you're constantly getting an award, how do you come up with all these speeches?
The other night we were watching Timothy Chalamet.
Oh,
He
yeah.
got up and gave
Oh,
an Oprah-style
was
barn
it
burner.
was fabulous.
You're pretty
It was
fantastic at that
fabulous.
too. You don't have a problem.
Well, yeah,
I do. I
Give
have
me
to
6
think
minutes, I
about
can
it.
figure out something to say.
And inevitably, I'll leave out one person.
Always.
That's
You
really,
always
really-
screw up
You always
something.
have speech remorse afterwards.
It's what you want to be as part of a conversation. Yeah, I think by and large, it'd be great when it's scattered a bunch of different
Yeah.
films and stuff because you end up taking moments. What is rewarding about it is that you are stimulating a conversation that is coming out of a new awareness. I think that's what. And in our film, it was set in 1971. But it really does speak to 2017 and 18. And just that alone, it's lovely to get invited to a table. They bring us, we get free drinks, and it's a lovely night out. We pay for the babysitters and have a good time. But the rewarding aspect of it is that we're out there to be discussed, and they are discussing.
And finally, you've had a wonderful, diverse career, and it's great you don't have to audition anymore. You've got scripts coming to you. But as a result, I'm sure there's scripts that you don't get. What script do you want them to send you guys that you haven't received yet?
Gosh. That's like asking, who are you going to fall in love with?
Yeah.
You don't know that. You don't know that until you meet that person, until you encounter material that strikes you in a certain way. I don't have a list of, I must play Lear. I don't have that.
Although
you would be.
she could. The right bald pate, you'd be sitting right there. It's a double-handed sword because one of you said, "Oh my gosh, fantastic! Yes! I can't believe they're asking me to do this." And 3 weeks later, you're so tense, you're vomiting behind the stage door because you're going to have to do something on film that's going to last forever.
Yeah.
And you think, "Why have I
Yeah,
put myself
that's true.
through this? I wish I could just stay home and go to bed."
True.
Thank you for putting
you.
yourselves through this
Oh,
because
you're
I love
very kind.
everything you guys do.
Thank
So thanks
you.
so much. Such a pleasure meeting you both.
Lovely.